I will divorce unhealthy comparisons. Yes, it is so important that you and I divorce unhealthy comparisons, because unhealthy comparison, it steals your joy. Unhealthy comparison steal your peace, your positivity, your drive, your determination. Yes, comparison is important if you are doing it from a healthy perspective. A healthy comparison is when you compare yourself or your product with someone else that has done it before you, and you're doing the comparison to gain knowledge. Hear me and hear me well. When you compare, you're comparing to gain knowledge so that you can improve yourself or your product. An unhealthy comparison is when you are comparing your months, I should say, with their years. It's unhealthy to compare where you are, where you're starting out, to where they are have already ended. So you're comparing your starting point with their ending point. That's unhealthy. It is important that you don't compare your crawl or your walk with their run. You've got to compare apples to apples. When I say apples to apples, what I mean by that is you both are starting off at the same place. You had the same background, the same teaching, the same exposure. And even then, sometimes it's hard because you have unique experience, you have unique skills, you have a unique exposure and background. So we all got to be very careful when we compare ourselves with other people or where people are. Because if you're doing it in an unhealthy way, it will stop you from growing, from you becoming who you are, from you growing, from you being successful. I think it's Theodore Roosevelt who said, comparison is a thief of joy. It is a thief of joy if you're doing it in an unhealthy way. But it can give you peace and it can give you joy if you do it in a healthy way. And that healthy way, as I just mentioned, is you're comparing your product with someone else's, or what you're doing with someone else's, to gain knowledge, to make sure you're on the right path, to make sure you're not missing anything. And if you're missing anything, then you can learn from them. You can draw from them to improve yourself or your product. Here's the thing. Comparison can stop you. If you're doing it in an unhealthy way, it can stop you from having a successful marriage, having a successful relationship, a successful business, or thriving in the workplace. You cannot just nonchalant comparing yourself with people. Just know that when you sit down to talk to someone, maybe in a one-to-one or in a setting where you're trying to derive feedback, the goal of getting feedback is to help you come up higher. Not you belittling yourself or saying you're less than, you should have been further down. No. You shouldn't have been further. You are where you are for a reason. This is where you are. Make the best of it. Bloom where you are planted, and know that your gifts and your talent, those are the things that makes you unique. You cannot be cloned. No one can do you but you. No one can do Shirley but me. Why? Because I've lived it. I've lived in this body for X amount of years. And I've made some mistakes and I've learned from them and I've put the lessons in place. So now I'm a better version of Sheila than I was yesterday, last week, or 10 years ago. Why? Because I'm constantly making sure that I'm learning lessons from my pitfalls. Here's the thing. If you're going to compare with someone else, make sure it's exactly the same. Apples with apples. You cannot compare apples with oranges. Those are two different fruits. Technically, two different things in two different spaces. So you've got to be very careful when you compare. Again, you compare in a healthy way to gain knowledge so that you can improve yourself, sharpen your skills, and come up higher. Case in point, if you were baking a cake and the first time you use a recipe and somehow it didn't come out too right, when you look back at the recipe, you'll say, okay, I left out something. Or you did well the first time you baked that cake or you baked that pie. You really did well, and you thought you can go out on your own now and do it without looking at the recipe. And you bake it the second time and you realize, wait a minute, it didn't measure up. You're comparing what you did the last time to what you did this time to see what's missing and how you can make it better, how you can fix it, and how you can make future ones better. So you compare to improve. You compare to come up high. You compare to make yourself or that thing you're working on better. Please, ladies, please, gentlemen, my brothers, my sisters, do not compare in an unhealthy way to keep yourself stuck. Do not compare your valley experience with someone else's peak. Because here's the thing, they may have taken 10 years to get there, you're just starting. It is unfair and it is unhealthy to compare your valley with their peak if you are light years behind them. They may have been doing what you're now starting to do. Maybe you're 6 months or a year in and they are 10 years in. So they should be better than you. Please do not compare yourself in an unhealthy way. That's what I stopped by here to tell you today. Divorce unhealthy comparisons, because it will steal your joy, it will steal your peace, it will steal your drive, your determination, and your success. Yes, it's okay to compare if you're going to compare to learn. If you're going to compare to get knowledge, to grow, and to come up higher. I am your coach. I am your sister. Compare in a healthy way today. Thank you for being here. And let me know on hashtag what your thoughts are, any feedback, or if you have compared yourself in an unhealthy way. And if you need help to stop this unhealthy comparison, that's where you reach out to me as your coach, as your sister, as your tour guide to help you do better. Have a great day.